Well, welcome back. We're taking all of your plant and garden questions with our expert Craig Hignight here through the WQAD Facebook page. So let's keep it rolling here.
All right, just gotta say, Ethel Parsons is watching this morning, and she said you are
Hi,
amazing,
Ethel.
Craig. So, thank you, Ethel, for tuning in. So, Kathy's asking, how do I separate rhubarb plants, and when is the best time?
Well, the best time would be when they're first coming up in the spring, is when they show first signs of life. Go ahead and get your new bed ready. And when you're dividing rhubarb, leave as many crowns together as possible. Hopefully these plants have some age on them, at least 3 to 5 years old. And you just, slice right down through there, get them back in the ground, use your root stimulator to get them started, mulch them well to protect them from weeds and grass, and you're off and running. You will have to restrict your harvesting for about 2 years.
Okay. Chris says, I have a young cherry tree that I'm pretty sure is getting too much water. The leaves have yellowed and then it dropped about half of them. I've removed all the mulch from around the base, but is there anything else I can do?
Other than putting in a French drain, which is a sump off to the side, you dig a hole and you actually fill it with rock up, and then just dig a hole, fill it with rock, and then put just enough soil on top of it to grow grass. That lets the water drain away from the tree. But if this area has a generally high water table, this tree is going to struggle for its entire existence.
And he did have, sorry to cut you off, he did have a bonus question. Any tips for an aspiring mustache man?
Yes, don't chew on it, and buy lots of Elmer's glue.
The school glue, or do we need the industrial stuff?
School,
Oh,
it
school.
washes out.
Oh, very good. Insider secrets.
Okay.
Little bonus information.
There you go, Chris.
This one's from Willow. Can I transplant outside ferns inside? She loves them, but they're crowding the hostas.
Well, you're going to have to find some other place outside for these ferns, because they, being an outdoor hardy fern, they need the winter to go ahead and survive well. They are not going to make a great indoor plant. So either someplace else in your yard, or find a friend that could use some shady plants, because that's where they really want to be, and do your division earlier in the season than the direct heat of summer.
Mike is saying, with grass cut high, will that produce grub worms to nest better in the taller grass?
No. The height of your grass has nothing to do with attracting grub worms. They are attracted to lawns, I hate to say it, that are very well manicured. That means plenty of water. These insects are not stupid, and their babies have to have water to survive. One of the best things that can happen to us is an extremely dry late July and early August, because the babies don't even survive hatching. They die before they can get in the ground. But no, mow the grass high. It has nothing to do with grub worms.
Interesting. Cindy, how soon can I trim back browns, yews, and how far?
Well, you never prune back more than about a third in any 1 year. And yes, now would be a time to go ahead and do some yew trimming. Just remember, you can do it now into August. We do put those clippers away in September and October, because we don't want to force out late growth that is not going to survive winter.
And Lisa is wondering, when is the best time to move peonies?
Peonies, October 1st. That's about the time that they are getting ready to go dormant. Get them out of the ground, back in the ground as soon as possible, but October 1st is for peony dividing.
All right, and Ethel's got a question for us this morning.
All right.
My marigolds are not growing too fast. What is wrong?
Possibly fertilizer. A lot of people, once we get into the summer, they slack off on their fertilizer, and all of these blooming plants, they're great bloomers, but they do like their food, so they should be fertilized about every 10 days all season long.
Okay, and then, sorry, I lost the question that I was asking. Candy, I want to transplant a crepe myrtle bush into a sunnier location. When's the best time to do that?
There again, I would do that in the spring. We are right at the northern edge of crepe myrtle hardiness. So just as it leaves out in the spring, try and move it with as much soil on the roots as possible. And of course, out of the ground, back in the ground as fast as possible. But I'd wait until next spring for this project.
All right, Craig, thank you so much for joining us. There was a lot of questions, and we'll save some of these, and we'll try to get them answered again next week. But you can join our Facebook Live with Craig each and every Wednesday. There you can submit your questions and be a part of the conversation.